¿Sí, bueno? Sí, sí, dime, señora. Ok, ok. Voy a checar el trailer porque, como no lo veo hasta hoy en la mañana, hay un, bueno, tenemos que quitar todos los remanches para hacer la inflación. Entonces, déjeme checar cómo vamos a hacer, pero primero vamos a empezar con la impresión. ¿Sí? Ok, muy bien. Ok, bye. Hey, Ryan, can you hear me okay? I was just kind of being quiet, but I don't know if I'm sure you would, but anyways, I just figured I would try to see if this works. I guess you go from there. So yeah, that's the big. Well, I guess. So yeah, I bought. So it's from the same company, but so I have like 3 sizes. I've got this size, which is what 12. No, this is probably like 19 or 20, something like that. I guess I could tell you since I've got a ruler here somewhere. Rona, bro. So I got that one, and then I've got like this small one for like small little, like 12 by 18s, or small things. Like earlier today, I did these little chloroplasts. They're going to go on a food truck for when he does like caterings and whatnot. And then here's like a large one. I think this one's like. Here we go. So this one is 26, 20, and 14. And so when I originally bought these, like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, you could there's like a thing that you could put them all together. And so you could do like a huge, like 4 by 8 piece of chloroplast. But yeah, that didn't work out very well. So anyway, I kind of figured out another technique to use for doing like 4 by 8 chloroplast. But this works great for like yard signs. So these are all just 24 by 48 quarto blanks. And these are all. Oops, I almost did that one twice. So these are kind of what they look like. Just yard signs, pretty simple, not much to really write home about. I guess I need to get more subscribers, and that way I could go like on a GoPro. I'm not sure. Can you go? So is GoPro and the phone the same thing, or is it like GoPro, laptop, cell phone? I don't know. Not sure. Call upon the wisdom of the YouTube gurus. So, what do you got going on today, Ryan? You're always busy, bro. Which is good. How are y'all doing out there with the mask still? I know that like here, we're in Texas, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, but I live in Texas. So everybody has their own stereotypes of, wherever you're from. Like you say you're from Chicago, they probably think that, you live on the South Side and there's, shootings all the time. But anyways, how's the mask day going out there in California? Because like I was saying, today, my kids, I've got a sophomore, 10th grader, and a senior. And today they put a mandate for masks, which a lot of people here in town are not very happy about. But I don't know. I guess there's always two ways to look at things. I was having a discussion with my mom about it earlier this afternoon, and I guess one of the biggest things is that it's become a very heated topic. This whole Corona deal, I feel like it's very. In a lot of ways, it's kind of stupid, but it does make sense. But it's really segregated us as a nation, I guess, or as people, as a species, I guess I should say. But yeah, there's a lot of people that just kind of like. You have to use RTMP for the GoPro computer. Homework screen for any mask is back on. People don't listen. So yeah, I'm here by myself. Let me give you a little 360. So here's the door. Oh man, when you walk in. So, and back to me. I guess I don't know why I kept my ugly face in that panoramic. Anyways. So yeah, it's usually just me by myself in the shop all day long. Like my wife will come by or something like that, but like it's really odd because we're on a retail space. We are in a retail space, and probably at least 50 to 100 cars come into this little strip center, every day. But like in the last year and a half, probably less than 10 people have come through the door, which is kind of odd, I think. Oops, I think that was supposed to be double-sided sign. But yeah, really nobody comes in here, to tell you the truth. I've been vaccinated. I'm not worried about it. I guess I should be worried about it, but I don't know. Like I was saying, people in town are crazy. Every state government's a little bit different. Our state government said that, they're going to stand behind not wearing masks, but, I can understand that completely because I don't want to wear a mask, but, I want, like, kids to be able to finish their senior year. I want, football games and basketball games and, kids to be able to participate in those activities, but then you kind of want freedoms as well. And, it's a slippery slope. It's really weird, when you think about it. I don't know. I think when we look back on history, perhaps whenever like we have grandchildren, maybe it'll be one of those things that kind of like culturally defines us. It's kind of like the North and South almost, but worldwide. It's weird. It's very weird. It's very odd. So yeah, that's super sweet. That says that. I love it. It's super easy. I'm just going to trim off. Since these are full bleed, I just made them a little bit bigger. I just made the bleed a little bit bigger. And I'll just go back and trim them off real quick. But most of the time, I'll usually make them, since these are 18 by 24, I'll usually make them like 17.5 by 24.5, and just leave a little white bleed all the way around, which to me looks a little bit better. And most times, I think when you see like true flatbed printers, a lot of times they'll do that as well, just for cuts on flatbed printers as well. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure. That's what I think. Anyway, so When are you going to go to see Derek and Sarah? When is that happening? The convergence of the YouTube moguls. I guess if you do that, I'll have to go up and see Juan. I don't know if we can contain two bald dudes in one room at the same time, though. It might be a little bit much. Or maybe we just get on there and we can have it like one of those like Saturday morning novella deals, where we just both speak Spanish the whole time. I think that'd be kind of funny too. We could dress up like in mariachi suits. I don't know. Let's see what you're saying. Hopefully tomorrow. Oh yeah, with Sarah and Derek. That's cool. Well, that'd be cool. It's so interesting. It's so interesting to watch people on their journey. And I guess like whenever you, I guess we're just inquisitive as a species, but whenever like you watch, like I go back and look at some of your old videos and see where you're at, like even like talking like when you had the Riley Hopkins and now where you're at now, and thinking about where you're going to be later on, and Juan as well, and Derek, and Sarah, those guys kind of starting off in their, garage, and then just kind of like progressing, they were. It's very interesting. It's cool. It's good to have a community though too. I think we talked about that, community over competition, because it can be competitive. You don't seem. What's the best way to say this? It's not that you're not competitive, but sometimes, like, well, maybe you are, because the CrossFit thing. So you always want to be competitive, like in CrossFit. So I know exactly what you're talking about. You want to do, you want to smash somebody else in Fran, or you're doing PR deadlifts, and you want to do better than yourself, but you also want to look like, the alpha male in the gym too, So, but I think sometimes maybe competitive is not the right word. Maybe territorial is the correct word we should use, because people kind of, even though you've shared quite a bit of knowledge with me, and we try to reciprocate that, I guess. But there's certain people, obviously that don't, or they feel a little bit, I guess maybe threatened. But I think your customers are going to stay your customers as long as you treat them right, And the thing is that, kind of, we should want everybody to evolve, do better, It's kind of like, what was that old saying? Metal sharpens metal or something like that? I can't remember. I only remember the kind of the stupid ones my dad used to tell me. Not the really like inspirational ones that you'd like hang on a plaque inside your office or something like that. Anyway, so Rye, have you thought? I know we've talked about this because I've talked about wanting to buy it, but have you given any thought? I mean, has it crossed your mind, or have you ever really contemplated? Like, hey, can I get an auto, or I need an auto, or I would like to get an auto, or, just even writing kind of like a quasi business plan, thinking, okay, well, this is if I got an auto, this is, what could, this is what I could do. I mean, I know that, like, Waldo made a reference to it last night, like the big boys use autos. Well, yeah, I mean, that's like comparing a hippopotamus, to a goldfish. Obviously, a hippopotamus eats more. but they probably get to the same distance at the same time. You know, so I was watching this really cool thing the other day on Printavo, and they were talking about autos. I thought it was interesting. But anyways, so I sold off, obviously, my screen printing stuff. I think I told you about that, but anyways, if I didn't, there you go, you got it now. So I sold off everything. So it was the M&R Cruiser, the Economax, the M&R Star, everything, the whole shebang. One, because it was a good opportunity for me to sell it and make a little bit of money off of it. And two, because much like you, right, I'm just a one person, and like Juan and like a lot of people out here, we're just one person shops. And you really focus in the majority of your time is focused on screen printing, and a lot now on embroidery as well. But here, I mean, I had screen printing and embroidery. I have the grand format, and you have paper, business card printing, and sublimation stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just wanted to take a step back from it for a moment because it was quite a bit. And the good part about it was that I was getting a good amount of jobs. And most of the jobs that I got were, at least 60 shirts, if not more. The majority of all the shirt orders that I got were like 150 pieces, which was great. But, on 2 colors or more, it just takes a lot of time, especially if you're here by yourself, doing it, then you gotta take it off, put it on, go grab it, put it back, then we gotta do the backs, and this is a small space. It's only like 500 square feet, so it doesn't really take much to get it heated up. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees right now outside. It's freaking boiling. But anyways, I don't know if I guess my question was, have you contemplated, or are you thinking in the future that you may want to do an auto? So yeah, that is the other. Therein lies the rub. So yeah, obviously here I cannot fit an auto. So I've got. Remember, I asked you previously about your space in your garage, because I have here 17 feet wide by 34 feet deep. So it's like right at like 500 square feet. It's like 495 square feet, if I remember correctly. 17 by 34. Yeah, no, I think it was less than that. I don't remember. It was right at 500 square feet. It's less than that. It's not very big. And that's one of the reasons I took out the big table here, the 4x8 table. I think I showed you a picture about that previously. So yeah, it's not very big at all. So the other idea was to rent another space. Like I was telling you before, there's a space here in town. It's like $500 or $150, which is not bad. And it's actually bigger than this space, and it has a roll-up door, like a garage door. But it's 100% climate controlled, so it's 100% AC. It's just, unfortunately, it's like not right here on this main road. But back to the point that I made at the beginning of the video is that there's not really, not a lot of people coming through here. It's like a lot of word of mouth, which is kind of good. You want customers to come in. Obviously, I'd like to have more work, but sometimes I think Derek and Sarah made a mention of this, is that they kind of really like the idea of just being online, because if the customer comes in, you got to walk them through the process. It's a solid 30 minutes, easy. It's easy 30 minutes. And then once you walk everything through them, and then it's like back and forth on proofs and artwork, and then it's happened to me many times where they're like, oh, you know what, we're just not going to do it right now, or we're going to wait, or we just have to go in another direction or whatever. It's like, well, okay. Part of it as well, Yes. But anyways, so the idea was, to perhaps move the space and have that other space where I could take the auto and put it straight in. I wouldn't have to mess with like taking down the arms or anything. The cool thing about it is that it's a friend of mine. He's got the auto, and he's upgrading to an MHM. It's an 8-color 10 station. It's a really nice auto. Anyways, but this auto is the Javelin, like the guy that Mikey Designs has or had. I'm sorry. But he's updated everything, so it doesn't have like the V squeegees. It has the choppers on it, kind of like the new M&R Diamondback or whatever they call that press. And he runs it on a daily basis, and he keeps it in really good working order. And he's actually the guy that I bought the Tajima from. And the Tajima's like super, super well taken care of. I mean, you know what I'm talking about because I see your equipment there, and you can tell that you take care of it. You wipe it down, you keep it clean. You take care of your tools. Now, if it was Waldo, we might have to just sell it for pound. I don't know. I don't know how that dude doesn't he's like a walking OSHA case in his shop. I mean, I can't see that he doesn't trip over something and break his neck. He's got so much crap in there. It's crazy. I think obviously a very close second would be Juan. Let me send a message to Juan. Maybe he will. Maybe Juan will join in. Yeah. Yeah, Waldo, man, I don't understand, man. That dude's real. I mean, he is the modern day Sanford and Son. It's he's just missing his cranky old dad, man. It's rolling. Let's see where Juan is. Tell him I'm gonna give him 2 pesos. 2 pesos. 2 pesos. 2 pesos. 2 pesos, Juan, if you watch. So, Ryan, have you always lived in California? I mean, are you a native Californian? Because I gotta say that sometimes I catch kind of this upstate, East Coast accent. Even Juan too. It was yesterday. I don't know. Maybe I don't sound like I'm from Texas either. But who knows? So, have you been getting a lot of hat orders lately, Ryan? Because I'm almost pretty much so giving up on hats. I think, a buddy of mine, the guy that I bought this Tajima from, matter of fact, he had 2 or 3 Tajimas, these ones, the ones that you have and I have. So he had 2 or 3 of them, and he got to really max them out. He was just doing so much work. And so he's like, hey, cool. I've got enough work. I got some money saved up. The juice is worth the squeeze. And he went and bought a 6-head Tajima, a brand new one. It's impeccable. I mean, this thing is freaking nice. And then COVID hit. And then with the COVID hitting, everything else, with the whole, the whole debacle of being able just to get anything, I don't know. It's kind of a struggle, People are so, I know not on the West Coast, but man, people here are so weird about hats. It's got to be this crazy Richardson 112 hat, where, I'm not a fan of them, but I don't know. It's a weird deal. So if you can't get them, people get upset. And then the other thing too is I had just a customer recently, and they're like, oh, well, we bought them this last year for this price, and if you can get close to that, we'll give you some business, or we'll give you the hats, and we'll give you this much, and all of a sudden it turns out from this being this, and they still want the same price. And I'm like, I don't know. Migrated here. That's cool. So you're still able to find hats. That's a good deal. I looked this morning. I was able to find some hats, like some. Somebody asked me for some fitted ones, like the flex fit ones, that are they're like small and medium and large, extra large, I guess. So I was able to find those. But if people want to pay for them is another thing. I don't know. So are you going to go to the Long Beach show? I really don't know that much about shows, because I lived out of the country for so long, and they didn't really have shows. They did, but I didn't really went because it's kind of weird. Anyways, are you going to go to the Long Beach show? And if so, what are you going to be? What are you going to be kind of like looking at or looking for? Like, do you have something that you've been kind of saving up, waiting to buy, or are you just kind of like looking maybe for? Are you just going there for the milk and cookies? Not in a bad way. But I've never been to a trade show. I would like to go to one. I want to go to one that like. I want to go to one that's like, like the WWE, man. It's just like freaking unchained, unbridled, like just pure pandemonium, debauchery down every aisle. That's what I want to see. Anyway, this feels so odd because I know you're answering, but then I got to go back over there and check it. I guess it does do better, like when you're kind of like sitting down and not necessarily working. Anatol, so there you go. Thinking about going to Fort Worth. Yeah, cool, man. When is Fort Worth? I'm curious. I have to look. I don't know, because that's like 3 to 3.5 hours from where I'm at. I'm like basically right in the middle of Texas, so I'm like 45 minutes west of Austin. So it's like pretty much so central. So like 3.5 hours to Houston, 3.5 hours to Fort Worth, Dallas, hour to Austin, 45 minutes to Austin, about an hour and a half to San Antonio. So yeah, if you decide, I guess what I was going with that is that if you decide to go to Fort Worth, let me know, and we'll figure out something. We'll meet up. I'll drive up. We can have like 3 bald dudes. You, myself, and Juan. Bro, we're definitely going to blow up the internet. We'll definitely get kicked off YouTube for that. So, what I was going to tell you, I watched your live earlier. I didn't watch it while it was live because I was out, but I watched it previously, afterwards. Or not previously, afterwards. That doesn't make sense. Anyways, I watched it previous to coming live after you shot it, is what I meant to say. Yeah, or you're going to get knocked off of YouTube again, that dude shooting you the bird on YouTube. Bro, that was funny though. It was funny that he actually caught you slipping. The haters, man, the haters. Red Wilder. That is Mike Naparuno. That's how you pronounce it. I don't know. So, yeah, always slacking. Look at me, man. You can see the glistening of sweat. It's like 73 degrees in here. It's hot. Like my man Robin Williams said, it's damn hot. That's nice if you're with a lady, but it ain't gonna do you no good in the jungle. Anyways, Mike, what do you got going on today? You're always busy, bro. Every time I turn on, you're like doing a rash, you're doing some banners. So, Mike, real quick, let me see if I can turn this thing around. Not bad. 72 and a half there. Dude, it was like 98. I'm in Marble Falls. It's like 98 a minute ago when I went out to get lunch. Okay, so Mike, I got the same. I think I got the same laminator as you. It looks almost like yours. So the problem that I was having, I'm sorry, you're going to have to hope nobody gets motion sickness. So the problem is that whenever I press go, you can see the button, but it doesn't move. It only moves with the foot pedal. So I was thinking that it has something to do with this little IR deal there. I wasn't sure, but that's what I was thinking. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I don't want to leave it just running unattended, but I mean, I'd like to be able to a small run, like a 4x8 run, or maybe a little bit longer than that. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan? Derek has his laminator, and he just kind of pushes it, and it goes, and it just, unwraps from one and goes to the other. But maybe this model is not capable of that, or maybe it's that IR deal is like burnt out, or it needs to be jumped or something. I don't know. I kind of looked at it a little bit, but it's a little bit above my pay grade, so I'm not sure. Mike is always busy. Really? So, yeah, I bought this. I barely bought this. Not barely. A couple weeks ago. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago I bought it. Because, we're starting to do a lot more stuff. And especially vinyl, especially signage. Even the latex, like RHP, it works good. I mean, I like it a lot. And, sometimes you just want the lamination it just makes everything so much nicer. It looks really, really nice. It just adds a level of professionalism. Kind of like whenever I'm rolling and I'll roll down my window and ask somebody, "Do you have any Grey Poupon?" Pretentious like. Nah. So, yeah. So, right, have you got the vinyl cutter working yet, or what's going on with that? So I know you bought that and you were kind of like hyped about it for a hot minute, and then maybe it's just because you got really busy with embroidery too, which I can understand. But don't rule out the vinyl cutter, man. Those things make really good money. I mean, it's kind of odd in some ways that I'm sure Mike can attest to this as well. But like vinyl is like usually $10 a square foot, like cut vinyl projects. I'm just working. I'm trying to figure out. I got a whole spreadsheet here that I need to go by. I have no idea. Stedman. Her name. Stedman. Two-sided, okay. Scheisse. Did I mix that up? I bet I did. I bet I screwed that up. Lister. But she was supposed to be a double-sided. I'm sitting here talking. I messed up. Oh. Two-sided. Okay, so then that's fine. Anyway. Mike's always. Oh, there goes the neighborhood. Scheisse. Where is Waldo? Where is Waldo? So Waldo, we were just discussing automatics, and obviously since you have, I'm not sure what type of automatic you have, Waldo. What type is it? But anyways, Ryan and I were talking, we're kind of discussing the idea of having an auto or upgrading to an auto, and we were referencing your comment last night on One's Live about big boys only use autos and your machismo. But I guess the thing is that, yeah, obviously an auto can eat up a lot more work a lot faster. And obviously, I think it's probably, 600 shirts is 600 shirts. On an auto, it's still going to be very tiring for one person. But I think that maybe you and I have discussed this as well. Like, at what point do you upgrade to an auto? Or if you're going to get into screen printing, should you just look at an auto from the get-go? Especially if you're only a 1 or 2 person shop or a small shop. Obviously, you can find good deals on anything, but if you have, let's just say hypothetically, so like in Rye's situation, he's got the, is it the Anatol? I guess you got the Anatol set up, right? It's the red one, if I'm correct. I like their stuff. It looks really super solid. And now they've got, matter of fact, I talked to that dude at Anatol, right? And he totally name dropped your name. He's like, yeah, check out this dude, Rye Beats. He's got good things to say. I guess it's when you went to a place and somewhere there close to you that they had an automatic press, and you reviewed their press. But anyways, he's like, yeah, check out this guy, Rye Beats. Yeah, major props from Anatol. But anyways, I know that probably their whole setup for you, the way that you got the thing that burns the screens, press, the dryer, and all that other stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's fairly expensive, brand new. Yeah, Waldo, where are the donuts, bro? Time to make the donuts. Waldo, you're probably old enough to remember that Dunkin' Donuts ad. So, right, that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry, I got to go off track a little bit. But what I was going to say is that Anatol, I think, they have an all electric, I don't know if it's now, but I just noticed it because I haven't really researched it before. But I noticed that they do have an all electric automatic. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't know what really the benefits are of an electric automatic press versus a pneumatic automatic press. I've never really given that much thought. I mean, except for the fact that, the cost perhaps to have the compressor and the noise. The noise would be the biggest thing for me. Just running something, especially if you're in not that big of an area. I don't know. Always just too much of that stuff just drives me crazy. But anyways. So, Rye, you going live tonight? Is that the deal? Or are you going to be slacking off tonight? What's going on? Let's see, I guess I could answer all the. I could do everything through here. I thought I could answer questions from there, but I guess not. What's that all about? Let's see up. What happened here? So, what happened? My screen split in half. Slaka. No air leaks. Okay. Jeez. Okay. There we go. Okay. So yeah. It's all electric. Is it called the Volt? Is that what is it called? I'm trying to remember. Anyways, that looks interesting. Have all electric. Does it have one or two flashes? How does that work? Does it have two flashes, or is it kind of, you can configure it however you want? And I guess, the biggest question is, like, how much is it? I mean, I have no idea. I have no point. The only point of reference that I have for an all-new press is the M&R. And I think that they're, what's it called? Their Copperhead. I think that's what it's called, something of that nature. I think it's like 32. Like an 8-color 10 station or 8.6, 6.8, something of that nature. Around $32,000. I think that's what their entry level for that press is. With a flash. But, man, that is about good. So like GSG here, I know that they have like where they'll take in your old equipment. I mean, obviously, I think you have to buy it from them, but they'll take in your old equipment and let you upgrade. But I don't know, since you got your stuff directly from Anatol and kind of being a spokesperson for them, will they kind of want the same deal? Like, if you, let's just say you decide you want to take the leap and jump up, will they kind of take your press in on trade and give you some type of discount? Or have you even kind of approached that yet? So, this is so boring, but it's kind of almost so boring that it's relaxing, Usually I'm here just kind of jamming out to whatever on Spotify, find something like lo-fi or classical. There's some type of white noise in the background. It's attention too much. I'm gonna take a little break real quick. Let's see. Quick color. You use the barcode. No, so I've only got the. I'm not baller status yet. I've got the 8600, 160, I guess, 63 inch there. So it doesn't use the barcode. So that was kind of one of the things I wanted to ask this guy, Derek, at one point, because I know that he had the same exact, like he had the HP, he had the latex. I think he had the 365. I have the 360, which is a model previous, but he had the same exact cutter. And I know that he sold both of those off to upgrade to the what's he have? I think he has the same printer as you, Mike, the Epson, or maybe he has Roland. I don't remember. Anyways, he just changed machines, but I really don't. Yeah. My understanding is that the barcode deal, it works where you just you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, because I know that you send everything through Flexi SAI as well. And I don't think that he's using SAI any longer. But my understanding is it just kind of automatically reads barcode to barcode to barcode. You don't have to set the registration marks like on the old 8600 or maybe the 7000 before that. But yeah, this machine, it was like one of the first machines I bought. I bought it as a floor model. I got, I guess, a fairly decent price on it. I want to say I paid like $3,200 delivered, which was not bad. And yeah, it's definitely paid me back. So NovaWorks. So on yours, do you program in barcodes? I mean, everybody has a different thing they're doing. So, but you're doing larger graphics rather than like Avalue, where he's doing small die cut stickers or whatever it may be. Yours are more like car wraps. I mean, they're larger pieces. They're not. So I guess you're not running continuously job after job after job after job after job. That way it has to read all of those barcodes, no? Okay, so it's built into Flexi. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, that's cool. I don't know if it's so I think that the new at least for this size, the 63-inch, I think it's around 7 or 7,500 for the 9,000. I just don't. I'm not sure that. I don't know for just the barcode part of it. Yeah, I know that it's faster as well, but I'm not sure that it's worth maybe a $5,000 difference by the time I sell this one. 800, 2.5 circles. Wow, that's good. You know, everybody always needs something. You know, it's a weird deal. You know, obviously, not everybody kind of goes on and talks about all of their work or shows all their work, but I think that I think Nova, you were making reference, or maybe somebody else, and I was thinking about it too. Watching Derek and I can't remember his wife's now, but anyways, done these stickers on the roll-to-roll printer, and yeah, I don't. I mean, besides just going on a roll, I don't see a big. I don't see how it's that advantageous over like just a regular wide format in a laminator, because he's still got to put it on the laminator. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You've been in the business, I think, probably a little bit longer than I have, and this wasn't my former life realm. It was more offset. So. Offset based, although we did do quite a bit of this, but it was much more based on that. Yeah, so the label printer. So he's got the Epson 6500, and he's got the Athenia 9000, and both are cool printers. I looked at both of them. The 6000 or the 6500 from Epson. It's not very expensive. I mean, really, if you look at it from a return on investment standpoint, I mean, you should be able to pay it back within a couple of months. It's really not that expensive. The only problem that I see with that is that the label material takes a little bit of time. So, like Mike, I know you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so you've got, I don't know where you buy your materials from, but I buy my materials from LexJet, and they're in Dallas-Fort Worth area. Grand Prairie, I think is where that's. So like today I ordered something, I know it'll be here tomorrow, ground shipping UPS, which is great for me. But like if you go to Hickman Labels, or even if you go through whatever other place, you got to order labels, and it takes like 3 or 4 days for them to process that, and then they have to ship it. So it's like you've got to keep a good amount of stock, because you never know when somebody's going to walk through the door and be like, hey, I need 1,000 labels, or I need, whatever, or you just never know. And then the way that the world is right now with everything else, with garments, with anything, even with butter, you don't know if you're going to go to the store and there's not going to be any of it tomorrow for the next 2 weeks. But that isn't really cost effective on the production size, especially with the equipment we have. Only advantages is on small rolls. Yeah, so that's the same thing I do. I looked at it, and I've run the math backwards, forwards, sideways, and any other ways. And the thing that I come up with is that, and this is just from a latex standpoint, I'm sure that it's very close with your machine as well. But it's about 1/2 cent per square inch is what I have calculated between lamination and material and, well, cost of goods, let's just say that. So material, inks, and lamination, and cutting, throw in your little blade, there's not that much. which is not a lot, you know. And if you're selling it, I mean, the only thing is it just comes on a roll, you know. I don't know. It's almost a novelty. Now, once again, here in Texas, like especially here in Austin, where we're like the food truck capital of the world, yeah, I could see using a lot of them if you find the right customer. And Derek's, I mean, Sierra stickers, their prices are very competitively priced. If you look at like Sticker Mule, you look at Vistaprint, you look at any of those other people out there that are like concentrating or that are like sticker only places, yeah, their prices are very, very competitive for being a mom and pop shop. I will say, I call them a mom and pop shop just because they're only 2 people. They probably don't do mom and pop numbers. Okay, I would almost guarantee it talking and listening to some of his lives. So I don't know. I mean, it was kind of one of those things where like, okay, well, look, I got a little bit extra money. Should I just throw it on get one of these little roll things and, you know, try to get some restaurants and maybe, you know, hey, it'll grow from there. But then it's one of those things where, you know, man, do you really got to use lamination or you don't? Because you know well as I know that if you just print like a regular sticker without lamination, it looks okay. But once you put that layer of lamination on there, I mean, it really kind of separates, you know, the men from the boys. And not that there's anything wrong with either one of them. Just one looks more professional. In my eyes, my 2 cents worth, one just looks more professional than the other. Let's see, I don't use LexJet at all, but my distributor does free shipping locally. Just had something dropped off 15 minutes ago. So who do you use, NovaWorks? I'm just curious. The problem with us being in Marble Falls is that we're very remote. So we're like GSG, Globe Graphic Solutions Group. They're like an hour and 15 minutes away from me if I drive there. So like I've got to plan out my trip. So they'll only come and deliver to me once a week. And it's got to be like over $150, which is not a problem. But the problem is that I know that if I live within or closer to the city, it would be like a $15 charge if it wasn't $150. And they would deliver it like they have 2 routes a day. Fellers, Inglant, Grimco, GSG. Oh yeah. So I did use Grimco a lot at the beginning, but I don't know. I just found that I had a better rapport with the guys at GSG. Their salespeople there, they were really cool. Fellers, I just made my first order with those guys. Unfortunately, I ordered some color vinyl for an airplane that we're doing. And I ordered it on Tuesday, expecting it yesterday. Never came. Called this morning. They're like, oh, they're having some type of problem with UPS or something weird. Anyways, so they put another order out, and they're supposed to priority mail overnight it to me. I don't know. But they're like, yeah, if you get both of them, just call us and we'll send you a pickup slip. So, which is cool. But yeah, I think for what you do, Mike, a lot is wraps, color changes and things of that nature, which are really cool. I think Fellers is probably, the industry standard or the leader for those items. I know that recently the vinyl that I was looking for was 2080 in matte military green, which is pretty much so sold out all over. A lot, and I'm sure you know this as well, a lot of the color vinyls like the 1080s and the 2080s, and then what is it, the Avery? I can't remember the model number on the Avery. Yeah, they're just very slim pickings. But matter of fact, I've got to figure out something because, well, we're just going to do regular vinyl, but I've got a trailer out back that we're going to just do the back fold down door. We've already got graphics and everything set up, but we're going to do just right off the HP. And then we'll do lamination, and then we'll do application. But all right, ride dog, hit the CrossFit class, bro. All right, man, stay safe. No, not too many wall balls, bro. I want to see you walking funny. Oh man, so it's been like an hour and 15 minutes. Wow, talking to myself. Stop showing off your shop space, bro. This is not anything to envy. I feel like I'm in Chino. This is a small space. Yeah. Have a good class, man. We'll see you tonight on the live. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. I didn't plan on like really talking to people. I mean, I guess it's nice to talk to people, but I was going to just kind of do like an ASMR kind of like once a day and just kind of me walking around the shop. But yeah. Mike, I like your space too. That's one of the, it's kind of a weird deal, you know, whenever we rented this space, matter of fact, exactly like you. So we rented this space in February 15th of 2020, not knowing the hammer was going to fall March 1st. And so it did. We had nothing. We rented the space, which is not that big of a deal. It's not, we don't pay a whole bunch here. I mean, it's fine. But we had to buy everything. We bought everything that we bought. But it's been a struggle, that's for sure. It's been a challenge. It's been an uphill challenge. So I don't know. But what I was getting to is that I like the idea of having a shop at your house because you can always like walk into the kitchen for another cup of coffee or to fix a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or just walk away and go do something else, you know, go to a CrossFit class, you know, go pick up your kids from school. Those things where if I walk out of this shop because I'm a one person type of deal, just like everybody else here, I feel like I'm going to lose that one customer. He's going to come in the door that's going to spend $10 million with me, and then he's going to walk and he's going to go to somebody else. I know that's not going to happen, but I guess it's just the, you know, the demons that we have to deal with, you know? So I know Rye, he definitely wants a shop, you know. Well, like I say, you know, the sweet's never sweet without the sour, you know. I look sometimes, you know, like, so had to make do and move home. What do you mean? So had to make do and move home? I don't know. So yeah, we don't. We moved back to the States. I used to live outside of the country for 12 years. So when we rented this space is when we moved back to the country. And at that time, we just rented an apartment, which we still live at the apartment because the Texas housing market is insane. And since COVID, everything has just gotten even more stupid. So we're waiting for prices to calm down or, I don't know, find some place out in the desert and build like a Quonset hut or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy. And I'm not going to, I mean, even just to rent a house here, if you can find one to rent a house, a 2-bedroom home, I'll tell you how crazy it is. So you know where we live. We live in Marble Falls. The Colorado River runs right through it down to Lake Travis in Austin. But somebody the other day was renting in a townhouse here. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse. They were asking for $6,500, $6,500, 6,500 clams a month for rent. And I just wrote back, does this come like with your own like Robin Leach personal assistant that, you know, can document your every move, you know, like a Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? Because that's insane. I don't understand. How can, I mean, if you can afford, that's what, so that's what, $74,000 almost, let's say $73,000 a year, $73,000. I mean, that's a payment on a what, probably at least $1 million home, I would think, no? I mean, that's a mortgage payment on at least $1 million home. But yeah, housing pricing, housing is not cheap here. So like for just, the only thing that I found, they call them country cottages, which is a dilapidated trailer on a 4th lot of land. That's not going to work. And if you find a house, they're usually $2,200 to $3,000 for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this area. And I'm not sure if that's just because so many people are moving from Austin here to the Hill Country, but it's expensive. It's very expensive. But I love it here. It's great. I love it. It's my kids, you know, the quality of life here is great. You know, we get to, you know, the deer come out in the backyard and feed them corn and, you know, hummingbirds and lightning bugs or whatever you call them. I call them lightning bugs. You know, we get all different types of wildlife, so it's cool. But hey, Nova, I was going to ask, did you hear my question earlier about the laminator, or had you walked away at that point? I'm not sure, because I know we were nice customer here. Okay, all right. Let me know when you're back. I got a question to ask you about your laminator. Meanwhile, we'll continue on. Oh, goodness gracious. Midla. I set it right there, or let's see, even set it right here, which may make a little bit more sense. Let's see. Um, this thing's just nice. Lily Marie. Sí. All right, guys. It's been an hour and a half. I think I will try again tomorrow and get a couple more people. Same bad time, same bad channel. All right, take care.